I'm Pewter Report publisher Scott Reynolds, and it's time for this week's Bucs Mailbag presented by Muni Financial. This week's questions are about which quarterback is the best fit in Dave Canales' new offense, Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask. What would Baker Mayfield have to do to become the Bucs quarterback of the future? Did Leonard Fournette make a big mistake? And can a defensive-minded head coach have success without a franchise quarterback? Now let's get to this week's Bucs Mailbag. Question number 1. Who do you think is a better fitted quarterback, Baker Mayfield or Kyle Trask? The team has yet to decide who is better, but who is going to fit with the bootleg, outside zone, motion offense Dave Canales is planning on running? Here's my answer. The initial answer is Baker Mayfield. He has some experience in this Rams-Seahawks hybrid offense that Dave Canales is installing with the Bucs. Mayfield has some pretty good mobility to properly execute the rollouts and bootlegs and waggles that Canales' offense calls for. That's been the case during his 5 years in the NFL, and it certainly looks like Mayfield has enough speed and agility to do that in a couple of the open practices the media's been allowed to watch. Plus, Mayfield has the moxie and experience the Bucs are looking for. But just because Kyle Trask has been more of a pocket passer and hasn't really functioned in an offense like this that requires a good deal of mobility doesn't mean he can't do it. Trask has dropped 5 to 10 pounds this offseason, and that's on top of about 10 pounds he's lost since trimming down during his rookie season. Trask came out of Florida weighing about 240 pounds. He's probably closer to 220 right now. Let's see how he picks up this scheme and functions during training camp in the preseason. The key to thriving in this offense is being accurate when throwing the ball on the run. Whoever masters that ability this summer and does the best job of protecting the football will win the quarterback job. I still maintain that Baker Mayfield is the current leader in the quarterback competition due to his experience, but this battle has just begun. Question number 2. What is a realistic number of wins and/or season performance for Baker Mayfield to be this team's quarterback in the future? Here's my answer. Good question, but it's a tough one to answer right now. Baker Mayfield could have an outstanding season, something like 28 touchdowns and 10 interceptions and over 4,000 yards, but if the team does not play well enough around him, especially on defense, it might not matter. If the Bucs wind up with a losing record in Todd Bowles' second season as head coach, there could be a regime change, and a new head coach might want to draft or sign his own quarterback. I think if the Bucs win 9 games, it has to be viewed as progress for Bowles, especially in a transition year to a new offensive scheme with the new starting quarterback at the start of this post-Tom Brady era in Tampa Bay. Whether or not the Bucs win the division, winning 9 games or more should ensure Bowles sticks around for another season, unless Tampa Bay races out to something like a 7-2 start and then finishes the season 2-6 down the stretch and really loses momentum. If Baker Mayfield wins the starting job and leads this team to 9 wins or more, I think he's re-signed unless he really struggles with turnovers. The best statistic quarterbacks are associated with is wins. The more victories Mayfield can pile up, the longer he'll stay in Tampa Bay. Question number 3. Do you think Leonard Fournette regrets his request to be released? There doesn't appear to be any interest in the 28-year-old running back who lacked explosiveness last year. Here's my answer. Leonard Fournette may have requested his release, but that was just to save face publicly because he knew he was going to be cut by the Bucs due to his ineffectiveness and for salary cap reasons. It's kind of like the employee who knows he's going to be fired but beats the employer to the punch and says, "I quit" first. Nobody in his right mind would believe that Fournette or any NFL running back would want to walk away from making $7 million per year. Running backs are underpaid as it is in the league. And with Fournette in the twilight of his career, the only reason why he'd want to leave Tampa Bay is for more money elsewhere, and he didn't get it. Fournette's not getting any action in free agency, and the fact that he's still unsigned is proof that the Bucs did the right thing. Fournette doesn't regret his request to be released because he didn't have a choice. He knew the Bucs were going to cut him. Fournette will have to likely wait until a running back gets hurt in training camp or the preseason to have a chance to latch on elsewhere on a cheap 1-year deal. Now it's time for our final question. Can a defensive-minded head coach be successful without a franchise quarterback nowadays? Even a great coach like Bill Belichick struggles without Tom Brady. I see a tough season incoming. Here's my answer. I think any team without a franchise quarterback will struggle in the modern-day NFL regardless of who the head coach is. The quarterback position is that important in today's game. Out of the 32 current head coaches in the league, only 11 are defensive-minded head coaches. Houston's DeMeco Ryans and Arizona's Jonathan Gannon are the new hires, and they join the likes of New England's Bill Belichick, Pittsburgh's Mike Tomlin, Seattle's Pete Carroll, LA's Brandon Staley, New York's Robert Saleh, Tennessee's Mike Vrabel, Washington's Ron Rivera, New Orleans' Dennis Allen, and of course, Tampa Bay's Todd Bowles. Belichick, Tomlin, and Carroll have all won Super Bowls as head coaches, albeit with great quarterbacks. The challenge with having a defensive-minded head coach is that the NFL prefers hiring young, offensive-minded coaches. So let's say Dave Canales' offense really takes off, and in 2 years he's hired to be a head coach elsewhere. Now the onus is on Bowles to find another really good offensive coordinator to replace him. Offensive-minded head coaches who call their own plays don't have to worry about that scenario, and the quarterback play caller continuity has a greater chance of succeeding over the long haul as a result. Look no further than the days of Sean Payton and Drew Brees in New Orleans, for example, or even more recently with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Thanks for watching this week's Bucs Mailbag, and make sure you visit pewterreport.com for the latest Bucs news, and follow Pewter Report on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and that you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Pewter Report TV, for more great Bucs video content.